Hey, we made it. It's Friday. Today we're going to talk about rational and irrational numbers. A rational number is any number that can be written as a ratio, which is also known as a fraction. So when you look at the world of rational numbers, they are the majority of our numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place down some numbers for you to show you what rational is. So -4 is a rational number because we could make that -4/1. So that would be a fraction. Then we have 5, and we could make that 5/1, which would be a fraction. Now this one right here, 3.2 repeat, we did yesterday. So that would be 3 and 2/9. So that is also a fraction. We could write the square root of 81 as just 9. We could write this as 0/1, which would be a fraction. This one would be 12 and 2/10. And then you could have one like 1/8. This could be -22 and 3/10. The square root of 144 is 12. 2 to the 5th would be 32 if we worked it out. 4 and 5/10. And we could have the number 1. So all of those are what are considered to be rational numbers. Now, there's a very weird one that I want to show you, and it looks like this one. That is 100 square root over 2. But if you think about it, the square root of 100 is 10, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So those are the rational numbers. Okay, so now I'm going to take away all the rational ones, and I'm going to put down the irrational ones. So the irrational numbers, got that in bright orange, by the way, which might be a test question, my favorite color. And I did want to give you a definition because the main concept in this section is, can a student identify an irrational number? Well, irrational numbers are numbers that cannot be written as a ratio, which is a fraction. So if you look at this one, 3.421553 ... that's a very irrational number. There's no system to it. It doesn't have a pattern. It is non-repeating. So that is an irrational number. Now, if you were to do the square root of 32, if you put that into a calculator, you'd see that the number probably would wrap around your entire bedroom because it is it's a square root, but it's not a perfect square root. So if it's not perfect, it's irrational. Now, this little guy right here is the most common irrational number in the world. So pi is the most common irrational number in the world. Another one is the square root of 2, but I didn't have a cutout for that one, but the square root of 2 is also. So other ones we might see would be the square root of 21, 5.320, and you can see that it doesn't repeat in a pattern. And then you would have the square root of 40, which is also, it would be a non-perfect square root. They're called non-perfect. So these give you ideas of what the difference is between a rational and an irrational number. So today what we're going to do is we're going to identify them in our lesson today when we do our work. So that would be the difference between the rational and the irrational numbers. So if you have any questions, you could go back and look at the video and see if you could tell which ones of them are rational and irrational. And I will see you guys back in class.